Moz is a powerful SEO platform that makes analyzing, tracking, and improving your website's search performance simple and effective. In this walkthrough, I'll guide you step by step so you can see exactly how it works. We'll start by setting up your account and creating campaigns. Then move into exploring key tools like domain overview, link research, and competitive research so you can understand your site's authority and how it stacks up against competitors. From there, we'll dive into keyword research, AI-powered insights, and on-page optimization features, all designed to help you uncover opportunities, refine your content, and strengthen your rankings. And finally, I'll show you advanced features like link tracking lists, rank checker, and on-demand crawl, so you'll know exactly how to monitor progress and keep your SEO strategy sharp. Alright, so now to get started is that you want to go here into the website of Moz. So you can do that by using the link in the description. And once you're here, you can now start setting up your account. In here, you can click here on login if you already have an account on the top right. Or if not, you can click here on start my free trial to register for a new one. Or you could go for view plans if you'd like to view the plans here on Moz that is available for you as a paid plan so that you can get serious here in Moz. For now, we'll be clicking here on start the free trial. So they offer the free trial in here wherein you could use the Moz Pro, no charge today, as you can see right here, and then you'd be able to use most of their core features in here, which you will be also using here in this tutorial. So now in here, to register for a new account, you want to click here on enter email. So you want to enter your email in here, and then you could go for the password. So you just enter it right here and make sure that you tick this box. And after that, you want to click here on sign up. And now, after that, you can now provide your billing information and then your payment information in here. So you just need an active credit card, or you could also go for Google Pay if you'd want. And there will be no charges today, but you would have to provide a valid payment information in here. And once you're done, you'll now be able to get these features or this free trial by clicking here on start your free trial. But take note, if you don't want to get charged, you want to make sure that you cancel before 7 days of your free trial because it will be automatically be charged if you don't cancel the subscription. Once you have successfully completed that process, you will now be prompted in here and you just need to basically tell Moz about yourself so they would be able to recommend or curate some informations or features more about you that would be really appropriate or they think you would like. So make sure to answer it here accurately and correctly. And now once you're done with that, it will now prompt you to create your first campaign. So in here, this is basically so that you can let Moz monitor the rankings, site health, backlinks, and keyword performance all in one place using this campaign of the site that you would want to track or you have provided in here. So for this step, I recommend going for your site first so that you can monitor your site. And in here, I'm just going to use the moz.com and also the brand name again right here. So you want to provide it. And in this way, Moz will now perform a crawl to the website to check for technical SEO issues, start tracking keyword rankings, and monitor your backlink profile, and you'll get a dashboard showing your site's overall SEO health and progress over time. And now we're going to click here on next. And now on this step, you will now be able to set the crawl limit. So in here, you can set the amount of pages for this campaign to be crawled. So in here, the default value would be 50,000. You can go for smaller pages if you have a smaller website. You can go for up to 500,000 pages in here to be crawled for this campaign. But this one is mostly overkill for most sites. So you don't need this much. So as for this one, I'm just going to go with the default one, which is the 50K. And also, you could go here into pricing, and here we have the medium. This is the one that we have currently because we are on the free trial, and this is what we will be trying for free for 7 days. So this would allow you up to 500,000 pages to be crawled for the campaign if that is what you want. Once you're done, you want to click here on next. here in traffic is that you can connect your Google Analytics if you would want to do more with the traffic that you will be getting here with Moz, and this would also give you a more accurate data. So in here, it says connect your Google Analytics 4 or GA4 property to unlock traffic insights and get the most relevant data for your site. So if you would want that extra juice or data for your site, then you can just connect it right here, especially if you're Google Analytics. I highly suggest that you connect it. And if you'd want to register for a new one, you can just register by clicking here and just follow the on-screen instructions. It's that easy. And once you're done, is that for this example, I'm just going to click here on skip for that one. And here in the select search engine, so now you could select one right here. So by default, that would be the Google search engines, which is the Google and the Google Mobile. So this one is actually already pretty good because Google dominates the search engine industry. So I think this is fine. You could also select more right here if that's what you want. You can select it right here. And then, of course, the language. And next, you can click on the next button. Now we have the keywords. So by default, it would provide some keywords in here based on the website that you have provided and the brand name. So if there's a keyword right here that you would want to add, I highly suggest that you add it right here, whatever comes at the top of your head that you should that you think should be included in here. But don't worry about being too perfect. You can edit that later on. So just do what you can do right here on the keywords. And then once you're done, you can now proceed into add locations. So in here, by default, it would be national. But if you would want to be more specific, then you can just enter a location right here. For example, I want to go for Chicago, and then I can be more specific in here. So that's another option for you. In my case, I will not be too specific. I'm just going to leave it national. Next up is that we have the ad labels. So in here, we have branded as our choice in here. So you can select that. Basically, what this would mean is that this would search terms that mention your company, store, or product names directly. If you don't select that, then it would just go for general search terms that don't mention your brand. So basically, this is the label for keywords that include your brand name or product names. It would help Moz show you the difference between people searching specifically for you and those discovering you through general searches. So for this one, I'm just going to go for branded. Next is that I'm going to click here on the next button. So now here in this step is the competitors. So it's really simple. You can just provide your competitors detail right here so that you'd be able to track the competitive link and keyword metrics for the sites or the competitors that you have provided here. So in here, you want to provide the competitor name and then the website of your competitor right here. So basically is that I'm just going to change the first one right here. I'm going to go for SEMrush because this is also an SEO platform. I'm going to go for semrush.com here, just like that. And you can add more if you'd want, and you can click here on this button if you'd want to add more slots if you have more competitors that you want to add. For now, it's just this one right here. I'm going to click here on finish so that we could now finish our campaign setup. Now, after you have created your first campaign, you will now be prompted here into the domain overview. And this is where you'd be able to see the overview of the site that you have provided in the campaign setup. So you'd be landed here by default. But if you'd want to go for other site, you could also do that. Just provide the domain, subdomain, or exact page link right here. And then you could select the domain type and then your preferred market, click on analyze, and then you would get the result, even if it's not included in your campaign. But by default, once you're done with your campaign, you'll be prompted in here. And now let me explain on what you should look out here on this data. So what do they mean? So first is that we have the domain authority. So this one right here is a score of 1 to 100, predicting how well your entire site can rank in search engines. Higher DA is equal to stronger overall SEO presence. So you want to aim for a high domain authority. Next, we have the brand authority. So this measures how strong your brand is online based on branded searches and mentions. It shows how much recognition your name carries. And then we have the page authority, which is quite similar to DA, but for individual pages. It predicts how well a specific page can rank, useful for tracking product or category pages. And now next is that we have the metrics over time. So this would show us the graphs of our DA, our linking domains, and our page authority. This would help us see if our SEO efforts are paying off. So you can see the improvements over time. As you can see right here in the bottom, we have the date, and then we have the value here of our PA, linking domains, and domain authority on the left side. Next is that we have the linking domains. So this is the number of unique websites linking to our site. So more high quality linking domains means stronger authority and better rankings. Next is that we have the ranking keywords. So this means how many keywords the site currently ranks for. So growth here means more visibility in search results. So you can see it says here keywords in number 1 to 3, number 4 to 10. So that is pretty good in the ranking of keywords. So that's how you can use that. And then we also have the rankings and topics section in here. So this would break down your keyword performance by topic. This would help you see which areas of your site are strongest and where you would need improvement. So you could see the domain, keyword topics, ranking distribution, top ranking keywords that you could use. This is also very helpful for you. So you know which one is the best, the difficulty, and we have the monthly volume in here and the SERPs. So we have analyze SERP right here. So we'll be discussing that later on. And then next is that we have the competition section. So this would compare your site's authority, links, and keyword rankings against the competitors you added. This is where you spot gaps and opportunities. So we have the competitor overview, brand authority comparison, ranking distribution comparison, and more. And lastly here is that we have the link section. So this would be your top pages, and we have the top pages with 4 excess errors, which I typically go for right here. I always check this. So the top pages would be the pages on your site with the most backlinks. These are your strongest assets. So regarding backlinks, we'll be discussing more of that later on, but basically this is where you could see the site with most backlinks. And here we have the top pages with 4 excess errors. So this is the pages that return errors like 404 not found, if you're familiar with that, but still have backlinks. Fixing this is critical, otherwise you waste link equity. So these are the suggested pages in here that you should fix, because this would earn you backlinks, and that is real helpful in ranking or optimizing your SEO. So I check it here regularly. And there are a ton more right here that you could see. So we have top linking domains, frequently used anchor text. So that's it. So those are the key stats right here that you should look for in the domain overview. Now, if you'd want to save this, you can always click here on export PDF at the top, right? So you can export this domain overview and you can use it for offline use. Next is let me just introduce the homepage here in this website, which is right here in the left menu. It says Pro Home, and this is the Moz Pro homepage. And this is where you'll be able to see some shortcuts here on the features on Moz. So we have the onboarding guides, the track sites, and the campaigns that you have right here. So we see that we have one and some stats right here regarding the campaign. And we have the research tools right here that you could use. And yeah, you could use this as a shortcut. Next, we'll be going here into the campaign section here on the left menu. Since we have already made a campaign, we can now go through these features in here, and I'll introduce each one. So first is that we have the view all campaigns. So I'm going to click on that. And this is where you'd be able to see all the campaigns that you have created here in this Moz account. You can see that we have some filters in here. We have active campaigns, archive campaigns. You could track a site in here. You could also click here on this button if you'd want to. Basically the same thing. So if you'd want to add a new campaign or track a new site, you just click here, and then you'd basically be undergoing the same process that we did earlier on our first campaign. And yeah, this is where you'd be able to see it. It's as simple as that. And then we could also see the number of campaigns that is used and our limit in here. So we have used 1 out of 10 campaigns based on the subscription plan that we have. And we have used 50 of 1500 keywords and 50,000 of 500k pages. Next is the dashboard here on the campaign menu. So now the dashboard here would be the central hub of your campaign. So this is your performance tracker. It shows how visible your site is, how strong your authority is, and where you're winning or losing in keyword rankings. So here we have search visibility. So in here, you'd be able to see if it is increasing over time. So are you actually growing in terms of searchability? So you could see that right here. And we have the desktop versus mobile search visibility. So this would make sure that mobile visibility isn't lagging behind, which is quite important, especially if you're in e-commerce. And we have the external links. So as for this one, this is for aiming for steady growth in quality backlink. As you can see in here, we have the up and down arrow in here so that you can see if it's actually growing. And then we have the top 10 keywords, so you can track how many keywords you're winning on page 1. And then we have the domain authority. So this is where you watch for gradual improvement. It's a long-term metric right here. And then we have the top national keywords. So this would identify which ones bring the most traffic and optimize around these keywords. So that's it. And then you have more right here if you can connect your Google Analytics and over time. So you just have to wait for this so you can track the performance scores. Next would be the insights here on the campaigns tab. So this is where you'd be able to see the actionable recommendations that Moz generates based on your data. So these are the quick wins and quick fixes that you can do to improve your site. So we have the welcome text right here. So this is where you'll find actionable insights from across your campaign and a quick glance at how your rankings performed for the week right here. And then we have the featured snippet opportunity. So this Brittany is saying, or this person is suggesting this one right here. So you'd be able to see that curated suggestion here. And then we have the keyword opportunities that you could use. You could also click here on track if you'd want to track that specific keyword here. So when you click on that, as you can see, I have now selected that. And then we have the link opportunity. So in here, we have the important pages that are currently returning a 4xx error. And Moz suggests that we fix this right now as these are important pages. And this might cause us to lose some backlinks if we don't fix it right away. So yeah, this is a quick look on the things that you should do to improve your site for overall. All right, so now next would be the campaign rankings. So this is where you'd be able to see the stats. So here is, you want to go first here. You want to choose the search engine that you would want to use or see the data. And then here you can set the date range. And then now you can see the stats once you've set that up. And we have the search visibility, our rankings, movement, and featured snippets. And we have this graph for the rankings. So we have this search visibility. We'd also go for rankings right here. And then we have the engines. This would break down rankings by search engine like Google, Bing, and more. But focus mainly on Google since it drives the most traffic. We have competition to compare your keywords performance against top competitors that you added, which is useful for spotting gaps where they outrank you. And when we have the opportunities, so this would highlight the keywords where you're close to page 1 and or where competitors rank but you don't. So these are quick win targets. So you can see that right here, and you could track those keywords if you would want by clicking here on the box icon right here. So for example, I'm gonna track this 3 keywords in here, just like that. So we'll be able to use that later on. All right, let's go back here into rankings, and then now we can go here at the bottom. So we have the track keywords overview. So what are these? So here we could see the keywords and the stats. So we have the location. So this is the geographic region where rankings are tracked. And then we have the monthly volume right here. So you could see the average number of searches per month for that keyword. And then the ranking. So this is the site's current position in search results for the keyword. So you want to aim for at least top 10 on page 1. And then we have the URL right here on where this keyword is located. And then we have this button. So you could score and optimize. So this would open Moz page optimization tool, giving suggestions to improve that page's SEO for the keyword. So you can click here, and then you will now be prompted in here. So page optimization score. So now you could see that it's automatically filled up in here. And then you can see on what's hurting your score, helping your score, all factors, and many more. So this is also very useful here so that you could optimize your SEO for your website, or specifically on this page and this keyword. So that's it. If you want to go for other pages or keywords, you can just fill it up right here and click on Analyze to get a different result. Next, under the rankings here, we have Analyze a Keyword. So in here, basically you just need to enter a track keyword in here to analyze it. So you can go for these choices in here. So these are basically the keyword that you have for this campaign. So you would have them here on the drop-down menu. You could also type a new one right here if you'd want to. But as for this one, I'm just going to choose something simple. So I'm just going to go for Moz here and click here on Analyze. And then once you do that, it will now load up the stats for this current keyword. So you can see the volume, the difficulty of this keyword, but this one is not yet available. So this is basically a score from 0 to 100, depending on how difficult it is for you to rank higher than the current competitors that is currently using this keyword. And then we have the performance metrics and the SERP analysis. And by the way, if you don't know what SERP is, it basically stands for Search Engine Results Page. It's the page you see when you search a keyword in Google or another search engine. So Moz's SERP analysis shows how competitive that keyword is by looking at the top ranking pages, which is right here, as you can see. And then we have the stats. So I'm just going to explain on what these are. So first is that we have the PA linking RDs to page. So PA means page authority in here. So linking RDs to page shows how many unique websites, root domains, link to that page, which is the PA. So together, they will tell you how strong of that individual page is in search result. And then we have the DA linking to root domain. So these numbers would reflect the overall strength of the site behind the page, and the page optimization score would mean higher score equals better on page SEO. Next would be the SERP features under rankings. So this is the page which shows which special results like site links, reviews, snippets, and many more appear for your keywords, and whether you or your competitors are capturing them. It's about spotting opportunities to gain visibility beyond standard rankings. So in here, you'd be able to see this graph. So you could go for overview or trended analysis for the stats that you'll be seeing here regarding your SERP features. And also, don't forget to set the date range and search engine in here. And when you scroll down, you'd be able to see the keywords and features. You could also use the filters if needed. So in here, we have the keyword. You could see the SERP features right here that is present on this certain keyword. And then you can see that this is site links, and we have reviews. This one has knowledge panel and site links and more. You could also see the ranking in here. And one thing that you would want to look out for would be this drop down arrow icon if this is available under Insights. If you click on that, you'd be able to see some recommendations in here on what you can do here on this keyword to make it better or to rank it better. So here, Pete says this one right here. So this is a suggestion right here. So it is recommended that you follow this, and there's a ton more right here. As you can see, if you have this available, then you can just open it up, and then you can get some really good suggestions here. All right, so now next here under rankings would be the landing pages. So basically, this is where you can see which pages are ranking for your keywords, how well they're performing, and where you can optimize to capture more traffic. But you would have to connect your Google Analytics here so that you'd be able to see the data in here. And as you can see, I'm not seeing anything because I didn't connect the Google Analytics. But if you'd want to get the landing pages stats, then you can just connect your Google Analytics. Next is that we have the page optimization tool. So this is Moz's on-page SEO tool that lets you evaluate and improve how well a page is optimized for a specific keyword. It's where you can score a page and then follow Moz's recommendations to raise that score. You can see here that we can score and optimize a page for a keyword. So in here, you just need to provide the page URL. So for example, you can go for moz.com/forum, or maybe a product page, or maybe a blog of your website, or a website of your choice. You can put it in right here. And then you want to go and enter the keyword in here that you would want to optimize in that page. So for example, I'm just going to go with moz.com in here. So this would be the home page. And then I'm just going to go for Moz. And in here, you can now click here and analyze so that you can now proceed into scoring and optimizing that page for that keyword right here. And when you click on that, you will now be prompted with this results. So you can see that we can see the page title, meta description, URL, and the keywords found with this keyword that we have provided. And we can see their locations in here, page factors, page score. So this is also really helpful so that you can optimize your usage in this specific keyword in here. So you can see here under heading, you could optimize that. And in here we have at the bottom the things that you can do to improve this specific page with the SEO stuff. Next is we have the avoid keyword stuffing in document in here. So basically here under hurting your score, you'd be able to see why it's an issue and how you can fix that. So these are the improvements that you can do here in the page so you can optimize it or make it better. And we also have some other issues in here. You'd also see why it's an issue and how you can fix that. Same goes for the other ones, why it's an issue and how you can fix it. And on the other hand, we can see that we have the helping your score category. This is where you can see all the things that you have done right here in your page, and that is contributing to your score or ranking here regarding this page. So these are all the things that you've done right. You can expand them and you'd be able to see again what's an issue and how you can fix that right here. But this one is already fixed, so no need to bother with it a lot. But in here, it's also very helpful so that you can see on what you did right and why that is right. And then we also have the all factors, content suggestions, so you can create relevant content that would help you optimize your page even more. And yeah, you could also click here and export a PDF if you'd like to export this result and save it for offline use. And now going back into the page optimization tab, we'd also be able to see these tabs in here where we have the tracking monitor. And this is where you'd be able to see all the page and keywords that you have optimized in here. You can see that. And here in Discover, basically the suggested things here by Moz for page optimization that you could do. Here you can see the page and then the keyword in here. You have the rank and the score and everything. So you could also browse here if you are looking for a page to optimize. So this is where you want to look. Next is that we have the site crawl feature. So when you go here, you'd be able to see that we have the site crawl overview. So in here, you'd be able to see the pages that was crawled, on how many it was, new issues by category is also a great way for you to start. Here in site crawl, you can see that we have 8 critical crawler issues, crawler warnings, and so on. So basically, this is a really helpful one for me personally because I can see it all in a simple data. And in here, we also have the graph view of all the issues that we have. So we have the issue type here on the left side and how many it was right here according to the length of the graph. So we have the title too long right here. So you could click on that actually, and then you'd be able to see every issue in here that is related to that issue. So here in title too long, you can see that right here. And you have the URL so that you can fix that right away. You know where it's located and it will be much easier to fix. We have the pixel length, page authority, crawl depth, and analyze if you'd want to analyze this. So yeah, this is a really great way for you to see all the issues regarding your website. And not just that, you could also go for the other issues in here. So you have the title too short. We have the missing canonical tag. You could also see that right here. So basically the issues here are grouped and organized. So you know what to target next, depending on what you think you should do next. And then we have the Moz recommends fixing. So these are just suggested by the AI. So you could also look at this right here. And more of that. You could also go here into this left menu again, and you'd be able to see all crawled pages. So you'd be able to see every pages right here that you have crawled right here. And we have the 265 total pages crawled. You can see that, and the status code and the number of issues that you have with that page, page authority, and basically the stats regarding that page that was crawled. So you can see that all right here, and we also have the URL and the title in here, so you could navigate that easily. And we also have the issue categories in here. So basically just like what we did earlier with the graph. So we have the critical crawler issues, crawler warnings, and so on. Depending on what issues you would want to tackle, you can just click on that right here in the left menu, and then you'd be able to see all of them. And yeah, here we have all critical crawler issues. This is what I recommend that you must fix first and foremost, because these are 404 errors that is really bad for your website if you have this. So I suggest that you fix this, and as you can see here, we only have a few, so that's a good sign. So we can just start fixing this right here. We have all the data that we need, like the URL, where it's located, and so on. And yeah, we have the 5xx error and some other categories in here. We also have the crawler warnings and some other issues right here that you could do here on site crawl, so you can navigate through every issue that you can fix here regarding your campaign or your site. So yeah, that is basically it for the site crawl. Next is that we have the performance metrics. So here in Moz, this is where you would be able to track how your site is performing overall, beyond just keyword rankings. This is essentially the health and growth dashboard for your campaign. So in here, we have the all URL section. So this is where we'll be discussing first. And you'd be able to see that the links that is, or URL that is shown right here are from all campaigns until May 1, 2026 in here. You can also choose a page source right here. I'm just going to go for all pages. And then performance metrics, you can filter the results right here if you'd want to do that. You can filter it by URL text, by performance score, analysis status, or mobile core web vital scores. And in here, you can select multiple URLs right here. For example, just like that, I have selected, and then you could analyze selected URLs or add to track. For example, I'm going to analyze the first one, just this one right here. You can click here and analyze. And from here, analysis is in progress. And now that we have analyzed that, so this is basically the same feature that we had earlier with the page optimization feature. You'd now be able to see the score here with the mobile performance, desktop performance, and the largest contentful paint, total blocking time. So this one is actually pretty bad for the mobile, because as you can see, yeah, the stats are really bad. Mobile performance is really poor. It's only 14 of score, and when you scroll up here, you'd be able to see the performance metrics breakdown, and there's critical reports in here. So we have this, so that's another thing that we could fix, so that we could see that here in every URL that is provided in here, or in every page of your site. You click here and analyze to see what you can do more, or basically see what's wrong with that specific page, on maybe why it's not ranking as you have expected it to be. And you could also select the URL right here, and you can click here and add the track. In that case, you can go here into the track list. So you can click here on take me to my track list, or you could basically just click here. And now here we are on the track list. So basically what this would do is that Moz will continuously update its performance data in your campaign dashboard. I also suggest that you analyze these pages right here, right there, and then you can just go into all URLs, by the way, and just do it from here and click on analyze selected URL. Next is that we have the site traffic. So as for this one, this is where you can measure how much organic traffic your site is getting and how it trends over time. But as for this one, you would need to connect your Google Analytics to get the most out of your information. So if you do have that account, you can click here and connect into Google Analytics. so that you'd be able to get your data in here from the site traffic. Basically, it's designed to connect your keyword rankings and optimization work with the actual visits those efforts generate. Next is we have the custom reports feature. So this is where you can build tailored SEO results that pull together the exact data that you want to show. So this is perfect for client updates, team reviews, or your own tracking. So in here, you can click here on create or schedule PDF report. So now you can customize your PDF report by completing these steps. So first step is that you want to choose a template. You can select a pre-built layout to quickly structure your report around a common SEO data. So you can also start from scratch if that's what you want, but I suggest going for a template in here to make your job easier. And after that, you can go into report details. So for example, I'm just going to choose this and click on create report. And I'm going to go for a monthly for this one and click on select template. Now here in the report details is now you can give your report a name and the description and a brand report. You could also add a report logo by clicking here on add if you would want to. And next is that we have the design report. So this is where you can arrange modules, adjust visuals, and apply logos or colors for a professional look. You can see or preview the look here when you scroll down. And next is that we have the preview and download. So this is where you can review the draft for accuracy and formatting, then export it as a PDF if you'd want. You could also go for schedule and share if you would want to automate the delivery on a set schedule and send directly to clients or teammates. By the way, we also have the add modules here. So the add modules would let you pick the specific data sections like rankings, crawl issues, backlinks, traffic that you would want to be included in the report. So here we can see that we have the specific categories in here. All right, so now last one for the campaigns tab would be the campaign settings here at the very bottom, as you can see in here. So this is where you would be able to see the section in Moz where you can configure the foundation of your SEO campaign. Basically, the control panel for what Moz tracks and reports. So basically what the settings cover is the basic info, mostly here in the general tab, where you can define your campaign name, website URL, and primary location or market. And then we also have some other stuffs like ranking. We also have it right here. You could modify your default search engine settings, manage labels, keyword exceptions, site crawl, and traffics. So yeah, you could edit that right here, and you could also add your Google Analytics account here under traffic. So basically, this is where you can set up your site, keywords, competitors, and integration so Moz can track and report accurately. All right, so next is that we have AI research and we have AI visibility. So in here, this is Moz's AI research section, which is designed to show how visible your site is in search results when AI generated answers appear. Like for example, Google's AI overviews or Bing Copilot responses. It's a new layer of SEO tracking that goes beyond traditional rankings. So basically, we can add a new dashboard in here so that you can add a new dashboard to organize visibility data by campaign, keyword group, or client. You know, we can click here. And now adding, you just need to enter your brand details, enter up to 3 competitor brands, and AI models used for tracking brand mentions, and enter the topics to generate prompts for tracking brand mentions. So here, I'm going to go for Moz. And terms that count as mentioned for this brand. So I'm just going to go for Moz again. You can click here and add. And then you could go for more terms if you'd want to. But for me, I'm just going to go for Moz. And enter up to 3 competitor brands. So I'm just going to go for semrush.com. And here, I'm just going to go for Semrush again. And AI models used for tracking brand mentions. I'm going to go for Gemini and GPT right here. So we have 2 of them. And lastly, we can choose the topic here to generate prompts. So let's say SEO optimization right here and click on add. And from here, you can now click on generate prompts. Next feature that we have in AI research is that we have the prompt suggestions. So this is Moz's way of helping you expand your AI visibility tracking beyond just the brand generated prompts. So basically what it does is we would need to enter a relevant topic to our brand in a search. So for example, I'm going to go for Moz SEO. And from here, you want to click on Analyze. And now it's going to analyze, so we just have to wait for it for a bit so that we can see the results. Now here are the results, and here we can see the overview. So we can evaluate the stats, look at the monthly volume, average difficulty intent in here, so that you would be able to see how competitive it is, whether users are looking to buy, learn, or compare with the intent in here. And then the monthly volume basically is for how popular the topic is. And we can also see the relevance in here. So you could choose prompts that align with your brand's goals. For example, you can prioritize high intent queries if you would want conversions, or high volume queries if you'd want visibility. So in here, we can now choose the prompt, and we could click here on track prompt in AI visibilities. For example, I'm going to track the first one. I'm going to click here on track the prompt in AI visibility, and we will now be back in here into AI visibility, wherein we can see it here in the prompt list below. So now you can do the AI visibility once again, but this time we now have the suggested prompt added here on the prompt list already. All right, so next is that we have competitive research. So in here we have true competitor. So basically, this feature is designed to cut through some competitors and basically show you who your real rivals are in search results. So in here, you just need to provide your domain, subdomain, or subfolder, depending on which one you would want to provide. So for me, I'm just going to go with something simple, moz.com, choose a domain, and choose the preferred market, and click on Find Competitors. Now in here, you can see that we have this domain authority. And then we have our top 25 competitors. We can see the domain authority in here also. So we have Reddit, which is the closest to us at 92 domain authority. And we have the overlap and rivalry in here. We could see on how much they rival us in the search results. And we could also see the compare button in here. So you could select multiple competitors here that you can compare. So for example, I'm going to go for Reddit. The SEMrush, and yeah, just these two. Now that we have seen our competitors and we have now selected them right here on the competitors that we're interested with, you can now click here and compare two competitors in Keyword Gap. So basically what this would do is that you will now be prompted here into the Keyword Gap feature here under competitive research also. And this one is all about analyzing overlaps and differences between your site and the competitors that we have selected. As you can see, we have our site and the competitors in here. And we have the ranking keywords on how much we have, top positions, and page authority, domain, and brand authority. Here on the competitor overlap is where you'd be able to see how your site compares with others and see the shared keywords. So here on SEMrush, we have this one right here. So SEMrush.com has unique 160.7k, and the intersecting keywords what we have right here is 23.22k, and we also see this other graphs in here. So we only have little here in reddit.com. So you can click here, and basically you'd be able to see the shared keywords of the competitor. In here, we can also see the keyword rankings. So we can see each keyword in here and how we rank against our competitors. So basically, this is where you can see where each site, which include yours and the competitors, rank for specific keywords. You'll see the positions here. As you can see here for our website, we're currently on rank 7 for this keyword, which is tiny URL. We have Reddit here, which is leading the highest rank with a crown, badge, or icon here at rank 4, and SEMrush is 51 plus, and so on. So you can see that right here on where you rank against your competitors. And we also have the button here to analyze SERP. So this would let you open the actual search results page or SERP for that keyword. This is crucial because sometimes the SERP has features that push organic results down. So analyzing it shows the real visibility challenge. So for example, I'm going to go here for the first one, and I'm going to click on Analyze SERP. And now we'll be prompted here into the keyword research, and we'll now be analyzing it right here. So we have the Explorer keyword, and then we have the keyword right here that we've selected, tiny URL, and we just need to wait for this to finish loading. And now we have the results. So we have the monthly volume, organic CTR, or the click-through rate, difficulty on how we can win in this keyword, minimum DA, And we have the keyword suggested for tiny URL, questions, surf analysis for tiny URL, and more. So more in-depth info that you could see here regarding these keywords and that you could use. So that's it. And now next is that we have the top competing content. So this is where you can uncover opportunities by assessing your rankings against competitors, top content and keywords. So first is that you want to enter your URL or your site. Let's say moz.com again. And in here, you can select the domain type that you have provided. Same goes for the 3 competitors in here. So I'm just going to go for semrush.com again and also reddit.com. And next is that you can select a market. I'm going to go for US and analyze the competitors. Click here on this button so that you will now be able to see the results. And competitor overview, we have the ranking keywords again, top position. So basically the same thing that we saw earlier, but now we have this one right here. Top competing content. So these are the top content that outperforms you in SERP from your competitors. So here we have this link right here from Reddit and SEMrush, Reddit SEMrush, so all our competitors, and these are their top competing keywords in here against us. And next is that we also have the actions here. So you can choose between analyzing all rankings or analyze link profile. So you could also do both of them if you'd want. So basically, analyze all rankings would show you every keyword that is specific to the competitor page that it is ranking for. And you can also see the full keyword footprint of that page, not just the one that you're comparing. So when you click on that, this would now help you understand why that page is performing well. Maybe it's optimized for multiple related queries or capturing a long-tailed keyword that you haven't targeted yet. So this would help you understand that. As you can see, it's now in here. And the keyword research. So we'll be diving more in depth here later on, but you'll be prompted in here wherein you can now see the ranking keywords here and so on. So we'll be going here more later on. But going back, next we also have this action. So we can also go for analyze link profile. So this would open up the backlink data for that competitor page. So this would help you spot link building opportunities. For example, if they're getting links from industry blogs or directories, you can aim to earn similar ones to compete with them. So here we have the stats and we have the links right here. You can download it in CSV file. You can go for follow links, linking domains, follow linking domains, and top pages. So this is on the link research wherein we'll be discussing more later on. Next up is that we have the Keyword Explorer. So this is the Moz dedicated tool for deep keyword research. It's where you go when you want to understand the full potential of a keyword or discover new ones to target. So in here, you just simply would want to choose on what you would want to provide. You want to go for a keyword, domain, subdomain, subfolder, or exact page. As for this one, I would want to explore a keyword. For example, I'm going to go for Moz SEO. And then choose your preferred market. And then next is that you want to click here on Analyze. And now here are the results. So from here, we have the overview for Moz SEO. So the typical things, monthly volume, CDR difficulty, minimum DEA, and the primary search intent right here, which is also useful and new right here. So this keyword is for informational. And then we have SERP features here regarding this particular keyword. And then the keyword suggestions here for this keyword that we have provided. You can go for by topic or by keyword. And here we have the SERP analysis, and we can see the SERP features and the usual stuff, which is the PA, DA, BA, and a page scores in here. Now, what I would want you to pay attention to would be this bottom menu here. So we have the track and campaign. So basically what that would do is that this would add the keyword directly into one of your Moz campaigns. This is going to enable you to monitor ongoing rankings, visibility, and performance for that keyword over time. You could also click here on Create Content Brief. This is if you would want to generate a structured outline for content targeting the specific keyword. And then we also have the Save Keyword List. So this would let you store the keyword in a customized list inside Moz, so you can organize your keywords into groups. And the update metrics is basically just refreshing your data in here. So this would ensure you are working with the most current numbers since search trends shift. Next is that we have the Explore by site. So as for this one, you can provide the main site in here. So you can research by site to identify top ranking keywords and gain competitive insights. So for example, I'm just going to go for the domain in here, which is moz.com. And then, yeah, you can just choose again what you have provided here, and preferred market, you can click here and analyze. You also have this additional option. So you can enter additional sites to compare with, to see what keywords you could be ranking for. So this extra option is there so you can expand the analysis beyond just one domain. So you can enter the root domain here of the competitors or other domains that you would want to provide. And then again, you can choose the type that you have provided. So for this one, we'll just be going in here and we're going to click here and analyze. And now we would now be able to analyze this site in here. So we have the top ranking keywords, ranking distribution, and more. So you can see that there's a lot of number one rank here in the domain here in Moz, which is actually pretty good. And then the difficulty in here, not too high, and a monthly volume. And now next is that we're going to try to do this one right here, basically a comparison. And that's it. And then I'm going to click here on the reddit.com actually. So there would be two of them right here. And I'm going to click here on compare sites. And in here, we will now be able to compare them and see each data simultaneously for each one of them. And then we could see the top ranking keywords in here, the ranking distribution, and we also have the legends here. So we have Moz.com, SEMrush, and Reddit. So this is for the top ranking keywords. As you can see in here, we have blue for Moz.com and yellow-orange for the SEMrush, and Reddit would be green in here. You can see their rankings here on each of their respective domains. And so yeah. Next is that we have the Explore by keyword. So this would let you save time by analyzing many keywords in one go and lets you build a keyword portfolio for your site. And it could also be used for identifying opportunities and gaps. So in here, you can enter up to 100 keywords. So I'm just going to enter mine right here as an example. So there it is. And actually there is, it's exceeding 100. So I'm just going to remove one right here. Just like that. There it is. And now we have 100. And from here is that you could also choose again your preferred market. And then once you're done, is that you could click here and analyze. You could also upload a CSV instead if that's what you prefer. For me, it's just like this. So I'm going to click here and analyze. And now let's see and analyze the results. All right, so here we are. And these are the keywords that we have provided. And now we'd be able to see their stats and explore each one of them right here in one overview. So here we have the monthly volume for this certain keyword, the search intent for that keyword, difficulty to rank high or rank top on that keyword, and then the organic CTR or click-through rates for this keyword, and then the last updated in here. You can click here on the update button to get the latest data. So yeah, that is basically the Explore by keyword. It's a very simple feature, but very helpful. As you can see, we can see the different overview stats here for the keyword if you'd want to do it in bulk. Alright, so now next feature is that we have the keyword suggestions in here. So we have discussed this a bit earlier, but I'm going to go through it here once again so I can explain more. Basically, this is where your keyword research really expands. So instead of just analyzing the single keyword you entered, Moz uses its database to generate related terms and variations so that people can see what they are actually searching for. So for example, I'm just going to go for a Moz simple keyword in here and preferred market, click on analyze. Once done is that you'd now be able to see the results in here, and we'll now be able to see the suggestions here for our keywords. So you can go for by topic or by keyword in here. So let's just wait for the results to load for a bit. And now here it is. So we have the topics tree map. So here we can click here on click to see full tree map in here. So we would now be able to see this keyword right here. We can see the keyword count and the total volume and the intent right here. So basically, the intents are categorized by color, as you can see here in the legends at the bottom. And the larger the box means the larger the total volume is. You can see that right there. And yeah, you can just go and check them out depending on the keyword that you have provided. But basically, you already have all the infos in here. Once you hover your cursor, you'd be able to see the total volume, search intent, average difficulty, and a keyword count. And we also have the top suggestions here at the bottom. So if you want to see them in a linear view, just like this one, with all the data here on the right side. So this is where you'd want to go. And we have the relevancy and so on. So you can select multiple keywords here, by the way. And then you would now be able to export them if you'd want to export this data that you have selected, if you only would want to export a few. And also, we have this menu here at the bottom again. So we can track it in a campaign here on the keyword that we have selected right here. Create content brief, save the keyword list, or update metrics for that certain keyword. So we have already discussed that earlier. You could also do it just like this one. So yeah, that is basically the keyword suggestions here. Next is that we have the keyword list feature. So this is basically a feature in Moz that is all about organizing and managing the keywords that you have discovered during research. Instead of just looking at them at once, you can save them into lists or ongoing tracking and strategy building. So in here, we can add a new list. We can click here and then we can get to name our list. Let's say Moz sample keywords for this example. And here you can enter the keywords we have earlier. So I'm just going to be using the same one. You could do different ones if you'd want. And I'm just going to delete this one right here and just make it 100 because 100 is the limit here once again. You could also upload a CSV file if that's how you'd want to do this. And then you'll mark it. Once you're done, you can click here on create list. And there it is. We now have this list right here. And then you can just go here anytime to see your saved list so that you don't forget them or have to extract them at a different platform every time. So you can just do it here in Moz and then you'd now be able to do it right here. And basically when you open that, you could also click here on Analyze SERP if you'd want to do some SERP analysis for this keyword. You can see the monthly volume, difficulty, organic CTR, and so on once the data loads in. And yeah, that is basically it. As you can see, it's currently gathering metrics as of now. So you just have to wait for that to finish. But basically, you'll be seeing the stats once again right here once it's done. And if you'd want, you can click here and add keywords if you'd want to add more keywords in here. Next, we have the AI content brief. So this feature in Moz is designed to help you move from keyword research into actual content creation with a structured plan. Instead of just giving you keyword data, it generates a brief outline that would guide how to write content targeting that specific keyword. So in here, we get to enter up to 100 keywords once again. So I'm just going to use this one once again. But as for this example, I'm just going to go and reduce this to 30, just like that. And then you can now select your preferred market and then content type that you'd want to generate. You can go for blog post, how to guide, and many more. For me, I'm going to go for how to guide as I'm curious with this content type. And then from here, you could click here and generate. You could also upload a CSV instead if that's what you want. And then once you click here on generate, is that there's now a warning. So Moz will select your topic keyword and use all 30 to create tailored recommendations. So one keyword needs one data, which will use queries. And I currently have a lot of queries left. So 4,996. So this is only a free trial, which is actually pretty generous for Moz. And I'm going to click here and continue. And in here, let's see. We now have our results currently loading, so we'd have to wait for a bit. And now here are the results. So now we have the content topic, domain authority, and the target audiences, a sample summary in here, and the suggested content structure for our how-to guide content. And here, so the first thing that we would want to discuss on the content would be to define the domain authority meaning and so on right here. And then check your domain authority and so on. So this would basically serve as your guide in creating the how to guide content. And it's not the final output itself. Basically, just a guide on the content structure on how you would do or finish the content. And then we have the primary search and intent to keep in mind while creating that content, and keywords to focus on to make sure that the content that you have created is actually SEO optimized. So you want to make sure that you keep this in mind in here. This is very important so that your page or the content that you have created would actually rank well. And then you can see the relevance in here and the volume. So you want to use these top keywords in here. And then what's already ranking that might be relevant to the content type or content that you might be creating right now. And then existing content and some other things in here that you would want to consider. So yeah, that is basically the AI content brief. Next, we have the link research. So we have the overview in here. And this one right here is Moz's way of showing you how the backlink profile and authority signals for a given URL. So when you provide a URL in here, Moz would analyze how strong that page is in terms of links and authority. So for example, I'm just going to go for moz.com once again. And here I'm going to go for root domain. And then now you can click on analyze. All right, so now here are the results. So from here, we have the domain authority and we have now the linking domains. So this is basically the number of unique websites that links to your URL. For example, if there are 10 blogs each linked to your page, then that would count as 10 linking domains, even if each blog links multiple times. And then this matters because more unique domains usually means stronger authority since search engines value diverse sources. So you want to make sure that you have a lot of linking domains right here if you'd want to appear at the top. And then we have inbound links. So this is the total number of backlinks pointing to your URL. So for example, if one site links to you 5 times, then that would mean 1 linking domain, but 5 inbound links. And this would show the overall link volume, and high numbers can help rankings, but quality and diversity are more important than the sheer quantity here. And now we could also go here in this graph. This is also very important. So the discovered and lost linking domains. So you can see that we have the total discovered. So these are the new domains that have started linking to your URL within the tracked time frame. And we have the total lost. So these are domains that used to link to your URL, but now they no longer do. So this matters because this trend shows whether your backlink profile is actually growing or shrinking. So we have a net here, which is a positive net. So we're actually growing here, which is good for this current page that we have provided. And basically, you would want to gain new domains in here to get stronger authority, because if you lose domains, then the potential drop in authority would happen. So it's worth investigating why those links disappeared. And when you scroll down, you can see more metrics and the top followed links to this site and some other stats. Next is that we also have the inbound links page right here. So basically, this is where you can see the inbound links for the URL that you have provided in here, or the root domain or whatever you have provided. And now you have some overview in here. But what I want to focus on is the links in here, the list of links. So notice that we have this labels in here under the URL, and then you could also see the link here of this particular link that is inbound to this page. So we have no follow. So basically what this means is that this is a backlink that tells search engines not to pass ranking authority to your page. So this is often used in blog comments, sponsored content, and more. So with this, you still get referral traffic, but it doesn't really boost your SEO authority the same way a follow link does. And we have the via redirect. So this means that the backlink reaches your page through a redirect. So basically, the linking site points to an old URL that redirects to the current one in here. So this would be useful to know because it shows indirect link paths. You may want to update or reclaim direct links if possible. And we can click here on more info right here. And then we also have the link target. So this basically shows the specific page or resource on your site that the backlink points to. And some other stats in here like the PA and TA, once again, linking domains and the spam score and so on. So yeah, it's that simple for the inbound links. Next up is that we have the linking domains. So this section under link research shows you the unique websites that are linking to your site or page that you have provided in here. It's different from just counting backlinks because it focuses on the diversity of sources. So we have the basic overview here once again, domain authority, PA, linking domains, and inbound links right here. And now we also have a list here for all the linking domains here. So this is only showing 1 to 15 here for this page. And we have the root domain here of every link that is linked to the domain. And now you can click here to see more info regarding this. And we can see the top links by page authority regarding this root domain right here that comes from this domain. So that's it. And then you can click here on all links from this root domain if you want to see everything. So this is basically where you can see all the links here that is connected to the domain that you have provided. Next is that we have the anchor text section. So basically, this section in link research shows you the actual words or phrases other sites use when they link to your page. This is a critical part of backlink analysis because search engines use anchor text to understand context and relevance. So in here, as you can see, the anchor text is mostly Moz. This is the top one text that is used in linking to your domain. And we can also expand this right here. And then with this anchor text, you'd now be able to see all the links that uses this current anchor text in linking to your domain. So this is also another useful thing right here so that you are aware of what they use and what you should be focusing on as an anchor text. And there are a ton more right here. So yeah, that's basically it. All right, so now next is we have the top pages section here in link research. So this section highlights which of your site's pages are actually attracting the most backlinks. Instead of looking at links domain-wide, this view drills down to show page-level link strength. So as you can see right here, we now have the top pages or links right here that has the most backlinks. So as you can see here, we have linking domains. This one is at 46,000, which is the highest so far. External links and outbound links and status codes in here. So if you'd want to view that directly, you can click here on the spotted. So yeah, it's really that simple. Next up is that we have the compare links profile. So this is the Moz's competitive backlink analysis tool. Instead of looking only at your own site, it lets you line up multiple domains side by side to see how their link profiles stack up against the website that you have provided here or your website. So here I'm going to type in a URL as a competitor, let's say semrush.com, just like that. And then I'm going to click here on analyze, and now it's going to go and compare the metrics in here and which one is winning. You can see that with the green color. So here we have Moz, which is this site right here. This one is equal. This one, Moz is winning. This one is SEMrush, and so on. You can add more if you'd want. You can click here and add another URL, and then we can go for reddit.com. And let's go hit enter and analyze. And then we now have 3 of them comparing the metrics right here. And then you have some graphs here, graph view at the bottom. Next is that we have the spam score. So this section is designed to help you evaluate the quality and trustworthiness of the domains linking to your site. It's essentially a risk indicator for potentially harmful backlinks. So basically what this would show would be the spam score percent right here. Percent of linking domains with a spam score of 1 to 30, 31 to 60, and 61 to 100%. So you can see that right here. So basically you want to look for the lower spam score. So you don't want to get a lot of links that is belonging into the high spam scores, like in the 60s to 100 or even in the 30 to 50. You want to make sure, or you want to aim for the 1 to 30 right here with the green color. And here at the bottom where you can see each link right here or URL that has a high spam score. And take note, it doesn't mean that all of these are bad. Spam score is basically just a predictive way of saying that this URL might be hurting your backlink. So what you want to do is you want to investigate it first. And if you think it is definitely harmful, then you should remove this. So with spam score in here is that your job will now be easier because you will now have all the possible URLs that might be hurting your backlinks, and you'd be able to clean them up much easier. Next is that we have the link intersect. So basically this feature is all about finding link opportunities by comparing backlink profiles. Instead of just looking at your own links, it shows you where competitors are getting links that you do not have. So in here, you want to provide your link right here for link opportunities. And here is where you would want to select what you'd want to see, the domains, pages, or whatever. I'm going to go for pages for this one. And then you can go for your competitors here or the URL that you want to compare. Let's say I'm going to go for semrush.com. And I'm going to add another one, which is reddit.com. And by the way, you can choose here, if you don't know yet, you can choose your domain type that you have provided in here on this box. Now, once you're done, click on Find Opportunities, and then you will now be able to see that right here once the result has been loaded. As you can see, we now have it right here. So we have this URL or this page right here, since we have indicated page in here. And we have the spam score, which is 1%, which is really low, which is really good. And then here we have the legends. So you can see that right here. The blue one would be the SEMrush and Reddit would be the purple. And almost, I think, all of the results here is both for SEMrush and Reddit. So these are all the links that we could intersect. So basically why these are useful is because this would open up opportunity discovery. So if this domain were willing to link with our competitors in here, it's proof that they are open to linking to sites in the niche of our business. And that makes them a high probability outreach target because these URLs right here are not yet connected to us. So we could use this because these are all relevant that is working well for our competitors, and we could also use that so that we can make our sites better and compete against our competitors better. So that's basically the use here. This is a very powerful feature here, which is the link intersect. All right, so now next one is that we have the link tracking list feature. So this is basically like your personal backlink watch list. Instead of checking reports manually each time, you can save and monitor specific sets of links or domains over time. So in here, you want to click here on create new list first on the right side. Here, you can name your list. So let's say I'm going to go for Moz link list. And here, step 2, associate a target URL. So as for this one, I'm going to go for moz.com. And add URLs to your list. So this would be the ones that you would want to add as your backlinks. So for example, I'm going to go for google.com. Let's say gemini.com. I'm going to go for semrush.com. And so on. So you can just add your links here. So this is an example. I'm going to click here and save so we can proceed. And from here, you would now be able to see it like this. So we have the average domain authority in here based on our list, and page authority, total URLs, URLs linking to target. And here, you'd be able to see links to target URL. If it's X, that means it is not linked yet. But if it's like this, it means it is linked. And here is again X, so not linked. So it's basically that simple. Next one that we have would be the on-page grader. So here in Moz tool, this evaluates how well a single page on your site is optimized for a specific keyword. Instead of looking at backlinks, it focuses on on-page SEO factors. So here, you want to go for the page here. So I'm just going to go for the homepage of Moz.com, and the keyword would be Moz. And here you can click on Analyze. So basically in here, Moz will now scan the page and checks elements like the title tag, meta description, headings, keyword usage and content, URL structure, image alt text, and more. And basically, you would be given a score right here, or a grade, showing how well the page is optimized. So this is 87, not bad. And here you can see where it's hurting on the things that you should fix. So you want to go here, and then you'd be able to see why it's an issue and how you can fix that right there. And then some more issues right here that you can use. And this one is red, which means it's urgent or it's critical that you change this right here or fix that. And yeah, once you fixed all of that, then it will be so much better in here. And you can also see on all the things that you did right that helped in creating your score. And yeah, that is basically it on the on-page grader. So now next is that we have the on-demand crawl. So here in Moz, this is your instant site audit button. Instead of waiting for Moz's scheduled weekly crawl, you can trigger a fresh crawl whenever you need it anytime using the on-demand crawl feature. So here you need to enter the URL that you'd want to crawl, for example, moz.com, and then you can choose whatever you provided in here, root domain or subdomain, and then just click here and analyze. Once done, you will now be able to see the crawl report right here. Once it's completed, just like this one, it says crawl completed, you can now view the report. So you can click here on view report, and then you'd now be able to see the data. You'd be able to see how many page was crawled, and issues by category, critical crawler issues that you need to fix, crawler warnings, and some issues right here. And total issues. So there's a lot actually right here. So that would be 2.8K. And we have the issue types here. So you can see it in more detail. We have the 4x error. And then when you click on that, you'd be able to highlight it. And you would now be able to see all the pages that was crawled in here. And Moz recommends fixing, so you have more in-depth things right here that you could see and some suggestions on how you'd be able to fix that. As you can see, why it's an issue, what it is, how you can fix, redirect, and many more. And you can go into the individual pages right here of that specific thing that has the error. So as you can see here in the status code, this one is 404, and this page has 2 issues, and the crawl depth and the page authority and view issues for this page. You can click here, and then you'd now be able to see each issue regarding that page that was crawled. So that's basically the on-demand crawl here in Moz. Alright, so now next is that we have the rank checker. So this is a tool that tracks how your site's pages are ranking for specific keywords in search engines. Instead of guessing or manually checking, it gives you a clear snapshot of your keyword performance. So first, you want to enter a keyword here. So I'm going to go for Moz. Actually, this one, since it's a keyword, I'm just going to go for SEO. Here, and enter a URL. I'm going to go for moz.com. Right here, and then you can go for the domain type of what they're provided here, and then here choose your search engine. You can choose Google right here, and then the preferred markets. I'm gonna choose United States English, and now you can click on search, and you will now be able to add it right here under keyword rankings. So I have already done this, and here's the result of that. So you can see your rank. So the rank of this site here on of this keyword using this URL is number 5. So you could also see the volume and the difficulty right here on how hard it is to rank, and also go for some other keywords right here. It's also on number 5, and as for this one, because it's the name of the site, so it's number 1 right here. But yeah, that is basically the rank checker in here on how your rankings are in terms of the keywords. Alright, so now this ends our Moz tutorial. I hope this video has been very helpful for you. And if you'd want to try Moz out, then please consider using the link in the description, because it's an affiliate link, so you'll be able to support this channel if you use that in creating your account here in moz.com. However, only if you want to use it, no pressure. And that is basically it for this video. Thank you for watching. See you on the next one.